Let's go.
If you smell what the Gauntlet is cooking.
What's up, everybody? This is your boy here. We got to get into some good stuff today with the Gauntlet live on everywhere that you see it. I got to bring the crew in here, though. Let's get it started. In honor of having Worst Jersey Edition show, I got to show y'all what we rocking with. So first up, we got Carson Wentz. Needless to say, one of the softest players to ever come in Philadelphia. Any team, him and Ben Simmons, probably tied with each other. Then we got Cheeseburger Eddie over here. Shout out Eddie Lacy. Back in the day, Eddie listen, once I discovered this little page right here, this is when I knew something was terrible.
Man, look at this.
Craving some China food. Not Chinese food, but China food.
China food.
China food. This China food I'm about to go through, man, this guy I just knew something was terribly wrong. He started off his career with 2 seasons with over 1,000 yards. And then he ended up just getting fat and basically out of the league now. But lucky for the Packers, they ended up getting Aaron Jones and A.J. Dillon, so they don't got to worry about.
Y'all better stop.
They don't got to worry about that.
Y'all know he's from the South and he doesn't know how to say Chinese food like that. Y'all better stop playing that.
Chinese food? So people in the South say China food? They don't
He's
say
from
China.
Alabama.
I'm from the South. I don't say that.
I've never heard that in my life, bro.
Are you from Alabama?
But anyway, yeah, Worst Jersey Edition. That's the theme tonight. But what's up, guys, man? You guys ready to get into it with some sports morons?
Hey, real quick.
Absolutely.
I'm trying to sign on to my laptop. It's asking for a 6-digit code.
Oh, and then mine.
It's asking for a 6-digit code.
Can you still hear us though?
Yeah, I can still hear you guys.
Yeah, we can hear you. We can
Yeah,
can
Jay,
hear
what
you, bro.
who's
You
Jersey?
don't gotta worry about it. But
Okay,
anyway,
cool.
man, sports morons.
Jay's got on like Matt Leinart, right?
Yeah, Matt Leinart, Cardinals.
Matt Leinart.
Shout out
Yeah,
USC.
man,
And well, I happen to think I don't have any players I bought that were trash. But if I had to pick,
John
one,
says
Matt
text it to
Field.
your phone. The code. Okay, so yeah, sports morons of the week, guys.
Mm-hmm.
Man, this is gonna be tough. Like, I don't know if you guys have any good ones, but I'll start us off with something light before we get into the more heavy stuff. I gotta shout out the University of Central Florida. Like, when I saw this, I was so disgusted. Tyler, I texted this to you like during the week.
Yeah, I don't like them either.
They created a jersey of a QR code on the back. Like,
I
what
hate
the hell
that.
are we? What the hell are we even doing right now? Like, you can see I've seen a lot of weird, especially college and high school jersey designs. But seriously, like, this is what we're doing right now: a QR code on a jersey. Central Florida. First of all, you guys tried to make rings a few years ago and saying you're the real national champs. Now you're going to do this. This is just an embarrassment right here. A QR code on a jersey. Disgusting.
They try and get donations. Stop being mean.
They don't need donations. Do they not have a booster club? James Statham is sports morons for hating on Wentz. Man,
Go figure. Go
He
figure.
saw.
You knew
Right.
that was coming.
I love John, though. That's my guy.
My
Yeah.
stepdad texted me and said Fatty E.
Fatty E.
to my E Eddie.
Appreciate everybody that's watching right now. If you guys don't mind just leaving a like on the stream, it really helps us out.
Yeah.
But my next sports moron is going to be the San Francisco 49ers fan base. This is a same fan base of people that was literally a couple months ago. You're cheering for Deebo Samuel. You're saying, oh, this guy is the truth. He's this. He's first team All-Pro. We love Deebo. Everybody buying number 19 jerseys. All that good stuff. But now that it comes to he wants to get paid and all this other stuff, you can say that, you know, he's trying to get overpaid or whatever, or he's asking for too much money. I got no problem with some people feeling that type of way. But when you take it a step further and you wish death upon him and you're sending him death threats to his DMs, you're a clown for that. You guys are literally just in the NFC Championship.
I agree.
There's a dropped interception in that game that if the player on the 49ers, if he catches that ball, then who knows? You guys could have went to the Super Bowl. You never know. Maybe they could have beat the Bengals and won the Super Bowl just like the Rams did. So for you to do that, it just shows clown behavior, and it just shows that fans, a typical average fan in the NFL, definitely not like any of us that's on screen right now, but a typical average fan, they will switch up on you so fast, and it's just disgusting to me to see that.
James, just to add on to what you said, the fact that it came from the 49ers fan base is not shocking to me because, and I know JJ and Mayfield remember, and maybe even you, Tyler, but remember the NFC Championship game against the Giants in the 2011 season, and they lost in overtime because Williams fumbled the punt, and the Giants kicked the field goal and went to the Super Bowl.
I remember that.
They threatened the punt returner, right?
They threatened the punt returner, right?
They
said
that man's family.
We can move the hell on from 2011's teen season.
Yeah, let's move. Yeah, let's move on
from that season.
I think we all hate 2011. That was the year.
That is y'all's fault, Green Bay.
That was the year. That was the year of the Eagles' dream team. Disgusting. I hate that team, and I don't want to talk about it.
Rodgers should have 2 rings. That should have been Rodgers' year.
That should have been Rodgers.
Appreciate you, Sage. Shout out to Sage, man. He's a Twitter mogul. If you guys don't follow this guy on Twitter, you don't know what you're doing.
Go ahead, JJ.
He's amazing.
I'll say this, honestly. In my opinion, I've said this plenty of times. That 2011 Ravens team that did make the Super Bowl was better than the team that won, in my opinion.
Hey, wasn't it Billy Cundiff had missed the
missed field goal? They were the number 4 ranked defense. And the number
I've heard JJ say this before.
I've always thought that team was the one that should have won outside of 2012.
That team was really good.
Maybe you guys could have went back to back. You never know.
I don't think it would have been back to back, but I think, like Ray Lewis said in Undisputed, like the first year it happened, he's like, after that, when we got to the playoffs in 2012, all we knew is we had to get to New England because we knew once we got to New England, we were going to beat them.
That was it.
We were going to get there. The team that we had to get past that worried us was Peyton Manning in Denver because we had never beaten them.
And you guys were able to beat them as well.
That was the game that had me. That was the game that had me on edge.
Let's just move on from that.
I thought Aaron was going to go back to back after 2010. Honestly, I did too. I thought
you guys were 15-1 that year.
Yeah,
you guys are the ones. The reason why Romeo Crennel got a job as a Houston coach.
Yeah, it was. Hey, JJ, and speaking of that game versus the Broncos, you ever noticed that ever since he let Jacoby get behind him for that game time touchdown, Raheem Moore never was the same.
They
never
killed that man.
He never was the same.
He never was the same.
And he came to Houston and he didn't really do nothing for us. He never was the
that
same.
hurt so much.
Yeah, I know, Kiva, because you're a huge Peyton Manning fan. I give you that.
Oh man, I cried after that game. I'm not gonna lie. I swear to God.
Was that the most devastating loss?
But the crazy
thing is, we spotted them.
Possibly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
we spotted them 14 points.
I would say the Super Bowl against the Seahawks.
All right, guys. So Tyler, Jay, JJ, Mafia, if any of you guys have any other sports morons to share, feel free to go ahead and take the floor before we move on to our next topic.
I'm gonna kind of say as not in football related, but I think the Lakers organization are the morons of the week because nobody's trying to take accountability for what happened. Everyone is just playing the blame game. Like,
yeah, I respect that.
It's this.
I agree with you.
Just own it, guys. You guys fell and dropped the ball. Just own
down
it.
the road,
Don't be a moron.
And this is something else that I've always brought up when it comes to the Lakers. I mean, of course they won the title a couple of years ago, but if you look at the track record of this organization for a pretty long time now, their last championship with Kobe Bryant back in 2010, pretty much from that point on and going into Kobe's last years, they're pretty much one of the most dysfunctional teams in sports. They had that failed super team. You know what? They've just been kind of a clown organization.
But to be honest with you, they're a storied franchise that is used to having star players stay for their entire career, and they're in a league where people move around no matter what you do.
So
they're stuck. They're not. They're past.
I feel like the real problems with the Lakers lie in the very top of the organization. and then it kind of trickles down to everyone else, from the coaching staff to players.
They got everybody in their organization, Jerry Jones, thinking they know it all, think they got everything.
Exactly. That's a good comparison too.
And instead of getting younger, they just keep shipping out draft picks. So how do you get younger and get better then?
Right. It's like but we live in a league where everybody moves around, picks and chooses, and they made their name off of Kareem being there for a long time, Magic being there for a long time, Worthy, all of them, Kobe, and then even Shaq stayed for a while, and then they made their name off of guys staying, but we're not in a league like that anymore.
Yeah.
100%.
I agree with you. Yeah, I agree with you.
I got it. Oh man, this is gonna be the hardest I've ever had to admit was a sports moron, but it needed to be addressed. And I say this because with Kifu and James, y'all know how hard I go for LeBron, but he's my sports moron of the week.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
You can't tweet laughing emojis at Pat Beverly for celebrating, and you're sitting at home. And you were the overall renowned favorite to win it all. Now, I agree, it's not LeBron's fault because their team is just terrible. We just talked about how much of a cesspool their organization is.
But you don't always need to have a reaction.
I don't think he was laughing at Patrick Beverly. I just think he thought the whole situation was funny.
I thought he was, but see, also you got to think. This is Minnesota's only second time going to the postseason in the last 18 years.
And they won today. They're up 1-0 in the series.
And they're up 1-0 in the series.
Because they're a good team.
People
hate to admit that, but they're a good team.
Shout out Edwards, bro. 30 points tonight.
Pat Beverly got traded to Minnesota, and he was like, let's go. We making the playoffs. But they were the 5th worst team going into the season. And now they're in the playoffs.
But I would add on to that and say the NBA should be sports morons because they fined Patrick Beverly $30,000 for saying the Clippers need to take their ass home.
Or the fact that how they let a girl glue herself to the damn court. That's
another good choice. I just want to point this out. I just want to point this out real quick. That girl that glued herself to the court, she spent more time on the court this season than Ben Simmons. I'm just saying.
He was going with that. Now, but to Jay's point, like, you have to understand what
got Detroit Dom finally in here fashionably late.
My God.
Patrick Beverly's personality
is the human highlighter.
Hold on. Can we get a timeout? Real quick?
Detroit Dom, what jersey are you rocking with tonight?
Plain yellow.
Are you serious?
You forgot mustard.
Bro, I told you this all week that we were doing.
Figure out where he was earlier. I mean, come on.
I knew you were going to do this. I knew you were going to do this.
Dom,
in the section here. What's up,
we all saw Dom with we saw him with a neon green shirt on. He came home and changed into his neon yellow shirt.
Kick me out. No.
The highlighter club.
Kick me out. BRB.
But I will tell you real quick. Now, I'll just add this last thing for Patrick Beverly.
He is banned for life.
His personality
is
who he is. So everything he's doing is something he's always done.
Made
him get this far. So I'm not looking at that and crazy stuff. You see the way he was talking to the Memphis Grizzlies today? That's just who he is.
Yeah.
That's just always going to be him. So to clown him for them, like, bro, you must not have been watching him play for the last 7 years. He's always been that guy.
That. Mm-hmm.
That's
absolutely
him. And not Detroit Dom banned for life. Oh God.
So what's up for one to Bacon? He always
what's up, my guy?
Every week, and then Jahan,
Shout out Jahan.
Shout out
Jahan. I'm officially retiring from this jersey after the show. I will be mailing this to your house, my guy.
Mail it to Jahan. Just mail it to Jahan. He needed it.
I already mailed. I had another jersey that I mailed him. I'm gonna send him this one too.
All right, next one.
If you guys don't have any more sports morons to share, Tyler, I don't know if you had one.
No, I'm good.
I have one.
You guys are good.
You
got one, Malfi?
You got one.
Yeah. I've been when I first heard about it, didn't really pay much attention to it until I saw it on ESPN again today. It's this guy named Kelvin Joseph. He's a corner for the Dallas Cowboys.
Oh yeah.
And he's the sports moron of the week, simply for the fact that, in my opinion, if you're an athlete or if you're famous or anything of that sort, especially an athlete, and you are hanging around people that are shooting people, I just think you're the dumbest in the world because you have thousands and millions of dollars on contracts. You're on an NFL team, possibly the biggest sports team, period, and you're gonna go out and ride and hang out with people that go around shooting people. I just think he's moronic for that. I think he's the sports moron of the month.
I think you're right, Mafia, and I think another thing to add on to that, if you're an athlete, you got to know not to be around the wrong people, and I think Kelvin's around the wrong people.
All right, so before we move on, what jersey are you wearing, Dom?
Looks like Trent Richardson.
Looks like Trent.
Nickelodeon.
Yeah, literally one of the worst picks of all time. Like, not only did you draft a running back,
is he number 2 overall?
I had big faith in Trent Richardson.
I think Saquon has made people forget how bad Trent Richardson was as a second overall.
Yeah, no one could ever make.
One thing to Keefu, though?
How many different memes have you seen of Trent Richardson missing a hole?
Go ahead.
Oh, God.
But
Trent
anyway,
Richardson is the most unfortunate virgin ever.
Dude has like 9 kids.
Missed all the holes.
Oh, it's like Josh Jacobs.
He hits all the holes
Tyler,
off the field. Can't find a hole on the field that it's this wide.
He hit one 9 times. I know that.
To Keefu's point,
Josh Jacobs.
Josh Jacobs. Yeah, he's always running from that child.
Travis Henry.
He's always running so hard. He's running so hard.
He's always running from those Trojan Magnums.
So may I say something?
It does not wrap up.
Go ahead, JJ.
Thank you, Tyler. Thank you. I forgot.
You know why he played running back? Because he definitely can't play. He definitely can't play
cigarettes, and I'm drinking beer.
Josh Jacobs definitely can't play running back because he can't wrap up.
Hold on, let's let JJ
Don't even worry about it, Tyler. It's all good. Let's get on to that. Don't even worry.
You guys didn't. I mean, I know about the Wentz and the Lacey. Oh, the Matt Leinart. Woo!
I was living in Arizona at that time, by the way.
That's the trophy.
Shout out to how you guys are doing tonight. We're doing good, bro. We're doing pretty good. The Sixers got almost a 20-something point lead, so let's hope Doc Rivers doesn't.
Shout out to the bald eagle being removed.
I'm actually going to knock on wood now that I said that.
Shout out to the bald eagle being removed out the endangered species
Ryan Leaf
list.
is the worst number 2 ever.
That's 100% facts, Jahan.
That's a good.
Wrong.
But anyway, guys, let's move to our next segment now.
Charles
Detroit
Rogers
Dom,
is the worst.
we got your boy Megatron, Calvin Johnson, our Player of the Week.
You know what's funny? I had to go into the other closet to get this.
Dom, let him get through the introduction first.
Okay, so the career accolades for him. He was playing in 9 NFL seasons. 3-time first-team All-Pro. He has 1 second team, so he's got a total of 4 9 seasons, which is really good in my opinion to have. You have 4 All-Pros in that amount of time. That's pretty good. He's got 731 catches, 11,619 yards, 83 touchdowns, and he broke. The highlight of his career is probably when he broke Jerry Rice's single-season record for receiving yards in a single season with over. Close to 2,000 yards, not quite 2,000, around 1,900 something.
1964,
I believe. So, yeah, I mean, this guy was a stud. This guy was a matchup problem. He was always drawing triple
on his
coverage.
ass about that though this year, but
he was always drawing triple coverage, and he's in the Hall of Famer. I think that the biggest thing for Calvin is him retiring in his prime was pretty disappointing, just because. If he played a little longer,
we've seen it before.
I think he could have possibly been ranked higher than someone like a TL or someone like a Randy Moss had he played that longer.
He's ranked higher than both of them.
He would have.
Well, that's what great players do for the Lions.
Because we never saw a wide receiver. We never saw a wide receiver that was his size. 6'5", 250. He's the size of a pretty much a power forward. Yeah, he runs like a 4.2, 4.3 speed on the field. He can just run by anybody.
Can I tell you about the combine when he ran that sub 4.3 in someone else's shoes? Because his shoes did not make the flight from Georgia. He ran that.
What's your favorite memories of him?
Well, that's kind of no shade.
I
That's
have him
kind
top
of,
5 all
kind of,
time.
No shade. That's kind of moronic. How you
top 5 all time?
The triple coverage catch against the Cowboys.
Yeah.
I don't get that. Like,
When he shit on the Eagles on Thanksgiving.
Oh yeah, that was nasty.
Yeah,
I will say this though.
Calvin Johnson ruined my Thanksgiving.
I will say this. There is a bust on the Ravens whose only highlight was calling out Calvin Johnson, and then when they played, he didn't get nothing. And Matt Elam has his #1 highlight because he made Calvin Johnson pretty much had not existed in the game that we beat Detroit. Where
I mean, if you could shut down Calvin Johnson for one play, you're a demigod. If you can shut him down for a whole game, you're a god.
That was why we won 5
almost.
Yeah,
like
that sounds impossible.
He beat single coverage on the best on the best corners ever routinely. He beat double coverage.
The reason why I made it
pretty often. He beat triple coverage.
Matt Leinart is a Madden legend.
But to Dom's point,
to a dozen times.
The reason why it made it even better is that it was a couple of days before the game. So it was like added motivation. You thought Calvin was going to come on and drop like 300, 355 because he called him out, and it didn't work. And it showed it was like Matt Elam thought he was doing a damn thing, and it was like, no, you still are bad, but this was a good day for you. Have a good moment with that, but that's it.
The sun shines on the dog's ass.
That was a painful Thanksgiving.
So
I'm sorry.
I'm just waiting for the next NFL wide receiver to be named after, like, Richard Sherman was Optimus Prime, and he's the best corner of that era.
What era?
Calvin was Megatron. He's the best receiver of that era.
Corner in what era?
I'll give him. I mean, like
what other Transformers are you going to name him after? Bumblebee?
You know what the best thing?
I want to be called Bumblebee. Like, seriously.
So I got
the small speedster.
He's the anti.
Guys, time out. Tyler, what were you going to say?
So I got some things to add on to it. So 2012 was when he broke that record, 122 receptions, 1964 on receiving yards.
We sucked, though.
So he had 8 consecutive 100-yard receiving games that year. So that's pretty crazy. And then in October 2013, sorry, Mafi, he set the record versus the Cowboys for 329 yards.
Yeah, I have amnesia about that.
Let's go. 329. Bro, those are against Big 12 shitty passing defense numbers.
And he had a catch that was
I forgot about that. It makes it so much better.
John says he's breaking out the Kevin Cobb jersey.
I forgot about that game.
You have one? You have a Kevin Cobb jersey in there?
I sure don't.
320.
Kevin Cobb
Kevin
Cobb gave Ed Reed the longest interception of his career. 100.
Yep, I remember that. I remember that one.
I can't believe he went out. I can't believe he went out and bought a Cobb jersey.
Is it he got the light green one? I bet he got the light green one.
Green one.
The light green.
Would you get that at like Value City back in the day?
Y'all niggas
title and playoff. Okay, thank you for the comment, my guy. But anyway,
I didn't even read that.
Me neither. I was trying to like translate.
I couldn't. I was trying.
What's the 219, 220, 220 something against the Saints in the playoffs? But unfortunately,
not even hating or making fun of the Lions here, but it really shocks me that Stafford and Calvin Johnson never won a playoff game together. That just tells you how bad their organization is. It's one of the worst organizations in sports.
To their defense.
One of those games is Stafford. The other one is we're not winning in Seattle on the road.
Hold on. It was a
the Dallas game. Like it's not.
No, it was.
Joe, that's what I was just about to say.
JJ's right. JJ's
Joe,
right.
I was just gonna say that.
What?
I think they probably could have beat the Cowboys.
It was a pass interference. It was a pass interference.
On the linebacker, right?
But that's not why we lost the game. We lost the game because we scored 3 points. We scored 3 points in the second half. With a top 5 run defense of all time, statistically. All time, like Super Bowl era run defense all time.
That still wouldn't have got you to the playoffs, Dom. Let that go.
But I think you're most.
To the Super Bowl.
team.
I think
we scored 3 points.
You guys would not have beat the Packers if you played them.
The most disappointing
yes, we would have.
No, you wouldn't have.
The most disappointing part of that team.
The only reason we didn't have their seed was because for those 10 years, for those 3 years of the 10 that we were good, we would get the Packers on the road.
Bro, against the Cowboys, Aaron Rodgers threw for like 330-something yards on one leg. Like, he literally had a calf injury, and he was a statue in the pocket. And he still torched them.
Yeah, and we had a sweet run defense and pass defense.
And he's got a sweet arm. But that's besides the point. If you guys don't have anything else on Calvin Johnson, we're gonna go in and get into some.
I actually do, but I keep getting off.
What you gonna say?
Oh.
30 seconds.
Oh no, you're not gonna tell me 30 seconds, Mr. Cut everybody off in 2 seconds. I know you ain't coming over here.
This is my show.
Go ahead, JJ.
I was sitting there saying that demise of that team was kind of disappointing because Nick Fairley did not pan out the way he was supposed to. And that dominant duo of Nick Fairley and Dominican Sue was going to be added incentive for that team to win. You already knew Calvin Johnson and Matt Stafford were going to get off. But when the defense got better, that's when the Detroit team started making better games. And coming
right. But we also had 53% of our cap committed to Stafford, Calvin, and Sue. Like, before the first round was over, when we drafted Ndamukong Suh, I said he's one contract and done. Either because he'll be so good we can't afford him, or he'll suck and we'll let him go.
And the crazy thing is,
we let him go for like $300,000.
Two of those guys were still playing, and they got Super Bowls.
Couldn't afford them. I mean, it was like letting Sue go was not the issue. Letting Fairley go to sign a 1-year deal was the issue. And then letting them both go and then panicking for a 70-year-old Haloti Ngata. I loved Haloti Ngata 3 years before that.
Right. But anyway, guys, let's get into some other topics. First off, we got a report circling around about Cardinals quarterback, Mr. Kyler Murray. Obviously, Kefu, you're a diehard Oklahoma Sooners fan. Kyler and his camp, his agent, are all saying that he could sit out, potentially missing games this season, a la Le'Veon Bell's situation.
I was going to say, let me know how that works, Le'Veon Bell.
If he doesn't get the contract extension that he's looking for, and he's most likely looking to get
that Matt Liner.
He's probably looking. Hold on, he's probably looking at somewhere in the $40 million range.
He's out of his mind.
All that kind of stuff. And you know what? I'm just gonna say this. I'm gonna keep it real short and sweet about Kyler. Kyler is the type of player that he has a lot of growth to go. Agreed. As a person. He's not. He's very immature. And we kind of had this conversation. We kind of had this conversation off screen about Carl Anthony Towns being a bully versus not being a bully. Today he kind of showed that he showed it today, but he's kind of been soft during his career. And
agreed.
As talented as Kyler is, I think it's a valid comparison because
about Cat.
They're both players are very, very talented, but they're both very, very soft. The way that we saw Kyler acting,
8 times more hair off your face than your head.
Dom, I need you to let me finish, okay? Thank you. So, Kyler had a brutal performance in the playoffs against the Rams, and then he's pointing fingers at everybody. I'm sorry, brother, but you got to take accountability. If you want to be that franchise guy, if you want to make all this money, and you want to be a true leader of your team, then you got to step up in those moments. And then when you fall short like you did, you got to be able to take that accountability. And Kyler didn't show he could do that. So until he takes that step as a leader, both on the field and off the field, and plays better in the big moments, we've also kind of seen his play falter off in the second half of seasons. He's got to show more consistency on the field. He's also got to show more consistency being a leader of his team. People can say what they want about Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts' talent level is not on the level of Kyler Murray, but his leadership and his intangibles are much, much higher than Kyler Murray. If Jalen Hurts had the talent of Kyler Murray, he'd be a perfect quarterback. He'd be the quarterback that everyone wants on their team. So that's why I feel like Kyler has a lot of room to grow. He's got to show that maturity as a leader, both on and off the field, and he's got to be more.
How much of that do you attribute to his newfound stardom, being all these commercials and all the fame that's coming into this? Do you think he's kind of become like?
I just think certain guys are like that. Kyler's always he's always been a superstar. He was a superstar in high school. You know, he was one of the best high school players in the country. He was one of the best college players in the country. He won a Heisman with Oklahoma. All that kind of stuff.
He has the winningest record as a quarterback in Texas, right?
I don't think Kyler.
He went undefeated. He went undefeated. JJ.
I don't think high school and college is not the NFL. Stop wilting after Thanksgiving, Kyler.
Well, here's what I was gonna say. I mean,
like fall
here's
league.
what I was gonna say. Like, to your point, Dom, Kyler's always been that guy from high school to college to that level.
I mean, I don't think any of it.
Let me finish. Let me finish. Right. I'm literally about to finish. This is the last thing I'm gonna say about it. So he hasn't faced that adversity until he gets to the NFL. So now the NFL is really hitting him hard, and he's not really showing that he can respond well to it.
Plus that division. Plus, I mean, I don't think all six of us would agree. Like, he wilts after Thanksgiving.
He does. After the second half of the season, absolutely.
But also, very tough division. But, I mean, if you want to sit out. Go ahead.
Kyler's almost as immature as Baker, but not quite.
I see all the rumors like, the Lions have the assets. Give them the 2 first-round picks and the one next year.
I mean, Dom's saying all this, but Dom was the one arguing with me that Kyler was better than Lamar Jackson. Just throwing
exactly.
So you know,
hold on,
let me jump
he
in
is, or he will be.
No, he's not.
Let me jump.
Okay, listen. Lamar's got MVP. You're right. He does.
Because
Kyler's a better passer right now.
Time out, guys. We gotta let one person talk at a time. JJ, go ahead.
On this one, real quick. Because I was actually going to bring this up. It's interesting when I'm looking at Kyler's contract situation and I'm looking at Lamar's situation. It's the difference between somebody maybe looked upon as more talented of a quarterback, but yet he has this expectation that he should get the money that he wants. Whereas there's a guy that's underappreciated who is talented, has worked his way to this level. The only issue with his contract is just the length of the deal. It's not about do they not believe in him. They do. And he's not sitting there thinking about, I got to get as much money. He's just trying to become a better player because he wasn't being touted upon as the best player. So it looks like it's a prima donna in the Kyler situation because at the end of the day, Lamar's sitting there looking like, when I win it, then you give it to me. He's sitting there saying, I've done this, give it to me. And there's the reason why one team is not trying to pay it, but the other team wants to pay him whatever he wants. So it's just a nice little dynamic on that. You know, James, you have Jalen Hurts and I have Lamar Jackson. Yes. Can I say somebody like Kyler Murray is more talented than him? Absolutely. But would I want him to lead my team? No, because I know Lamar Jackson helped us win 5 of the last 6 games, helped us get to the playoffs in 2020, and they had to start 8-3 after we've been down by like 20-plus points in multiple games. I'll take that over that situation with Kyler. Real talk.
You know, to James's point about his leadership, and I don't know if you all have heard of or are familiar with the term the Dunning-Kruger effect. This is where somebody overestimates their abilities at a task and they really have low abilities at it. That is what Kyler is suffering from right now, but he doesn't realize it, and this is the reason why he's threatening to hold out and asking for more money. Oh, I think I'm the unquestioned leader of the locker room. Well, you've lost the locker room more than once, and now you want to sit out. You only been to the playoff once. You folded in that game, you know. And I know some people will, you know, call him, he looks like a child running out there on the field as is, but he's literally acting like one right now, you know. So what he needs to do, and what he doesn't realize is the way that he's acting right now, this isn't just for the Arizona audience. The whole nation sees you acting a fool. So if in the event the Cardinals decide to let you go, how many other teams are really going to take a look at you? And realistically, 1, 2, 3, okay, you know. But people have to realize you are building your resume. You know, Tyler, it's kind of like when we were talking about how Aaron Rodgers was going to leave Green Bay after last season. and how the last MVP he just won was essentially his resume to everybody else.
That?
People, some schmuck, I don't know.
Oh,
But anyway,
Jahan. Oh shit.
But essentially, what you're doing is you. Where's he at? Oh, there he is. So what you're doing is you're putting on your resume for other teams. Just
corn on the cob.
Oh man, he put it on. Hey,
I told you he was gonna wear that one.
We'll get to you. But essentially, what people don't realize is you're inadvertently putting your resume out there for other teams. Should the team you're on decide to let you go, so not only does it behoove you to act right with your team, because what you do now could vastly haunt you in the future. But a lot of people don't see that.
Excellent point, Jay. And I understand where you're coming from with that, because he's in a tricky situation now, because other people are watching you, how you handle this situation. You think you deserve it because of this. Now, how are you going to approach this season? If you say, let's say you want to leave this team,
right on, and
you're going to be this, are you going to underperform, which also may give other teams more incentive not to come after you? Mm-hmm. Or are you going to do what they're asking you to do and show up and show out so you can try to get paid, whether it be there or somewhere else? He's like what Marcellus Wiley said. There's players that want to win, and there's players that want to get money.
Right.
I think he's one of those that wants to get money.
I agree.
Right. Hey, do you mind if I speak on that?
Go ahead, man.
Go ahead, brother.
Just to go along with what Joe was saying, that's my whole thing. I'm about these. I think I was talking about it the other day with somebody. I don't remember who it was, but these new players, they come into the league, and based off of their talent and potential, they want to get paid. They haven't put in the work on the field, but they want to get paid. And as a fan, I have a big problem with that, because guys like me, we come from an era where you want that money, you got to prove it on the field.
You got to earn it.
And these guys that come in, they've been in the league 1, 2, 3 years, and they want this amount of money. But let's say they do get the money. It's been proven many times. They get the money, and then they just disappear. And I just don't get it. I really don't.
Yeah.
All you have to do is unfollow your team on Twitter and Instagram.
Oh, JJ.
Yeah. To Keith's point, it's kind of like what I heard one time on television. Whenever these teams pay you your money, is it based off of what you've done? Yes, but it's also based on what they think you're going to do, and what has he done so far. Went to the playoffs once and folded in that game.
Exactly,
like a lawn chair.
Like a lawn chair, like Tyler said. Yeah, I agree.
Can I say something about Kyler Murray real quick?
Yeah, go ahead.
Man.
I just want to say he went through a little bit of adversity this year. Like when what's my man? Receiver. Hopkins got hurt.
True.
That crushed him. When you have your number one guy go down, like that changes the way you do everything. But they caught a Rams team in the playoffs, and he looked terrible. I'm not saying he didn't look terrible, because he did. But they caught a hot Rams team first, and that Rams team kind of put the blueprint on how to play Kyler.
Who's the quarterback on that Rams team?
That's neither here nor there. But Matthew Stafford.
But just to add to your point,
John Matthew.
Just to be contradictory a little bit to that point, is they went out there and they got Zach Ertz for a reason for that playoff run.
Wait a minute. Did Jahan show up with his worst jersey? Because if not,
he's
kick him
got
off.
Cobb
Kevin
on.
Cobb.
Kevin Cobb.
Dom, you literally don't pay attention, bro.
I really don't.
Because he's trying to get his point out first. That's all he be doing.
Hey, go ahead and finish.
Go ahead, John. Go ahead.
Dom just
Go
talked to himself talk.
Hey,
You're
John,
right.
go ahead and finish.
But I think Kyler is going through this situation right now where it's like I gotta say something so I don't look like they can trade me. I'm gonna look like they can't trade me. So they need me so much that they can't trade me. I think it's a bad move for him. I think he's just gotta sit back and let his game play.
Agreed.
Come back with a healthy Hopkins, come back, get a playoff win at least before he can talk how he's talking.
I agree.
But right now he's making himself unlikable, and he's a likable guy. And I just think now he's trying to make himself unlikable, untradeable, unlikable.
Supposedly we have the assets. I mean, we do.
Oh man.
We could give them 2 and 32.
I gotcha.
And
all right.
7 next year. We got 2 next year as well. I don't want Kyler.
You got 2 next year.
I did until 2 weeks ago.
Okay, guys.
I absolutely wanted Kyler.
We got to move on to the next topic. We pretty much mostly agree on the whole Kyler situation. Jahan's got kind of a different viewpoint on it, though. But we're going to move on to the next topic, which is going to be about Deebo Samuel and his contract situation. So we go from one player that wants a new contract to another player that wants a new contract. So and we already talked about it during Sports More on how the 49er fans are, wishing death on this man, literally because he's trying to get more money. But let's be real. Like the receiver market right now is ridiculous. You got guys like Christian Kirk that's getting, like $18-19 million a year. You got Godwin that's getting close to like 20-something million a year. All these other, all this other stuff. Like you can talk about the quarterback market. Aaron Rodgers, Mahomes, those guys are making ridiculous amounts of money. So
Derek Carr
the amount of money that guys are making is higher than it's ever been. So I don't really think that it's anything to do with overpaying a guy like Deebo Samuel. Deebo Samuel coming off another All-Pro year. We have no reason to believe that there's going to be any dip with his production. In fact, I think with Deebo, the best is yet to come for him. He's still 26 years old. I don't think he's really hit the peak of his career yet. I think once he reaches that, he's going to be on a completely different level. So if you're asking me right now, yeah, I absolutely would pay him what he wants. And if not, then, some other team's going to, give up draft picks and the 49ers can benefit off of that. And whatever team gets him is going to have a very versatile weapon because this guy's not just a receiver. He's just an overall football. You can get him the ball in so many different ways. So I think he just brings a lot more value to the table than a typical receiver. So if you're asking me the question, yeah, I would pay Deebo for sure.
So my point about Deebo was the tail end of what you were just saying. Deebo Samuel's the type of guy that's kind of like a Swiss Army knife. He can do so many. He can do so many different things for your team. Kind of similar to what Patterson does for the Falcons. Like he can run the ball. They could line him up. He can block. They can use him on special teams. Like he's a Swiss Army knife. So if I'm the 49ers and my team's kind of built on defense, I'm definitely going to try and lock up Deebo Samuel. Because, I mean, a guy like Deebo Samuel is the reason that we were praising a guy like Jimmy Garoppolo in the playoff time.
Right.
True. Absolutely. That's very true.
And I've said this several times. I think that, in my opinion, Deebo Samuel, the best two-position player on offense since P. Harv. The only difference between the two is P. Harv was injury-riddled. Deebo ain't. So you got a little unicorn sitting here, 49ers. What are you going to do? Give Jimmy that money? You bet not. You know what I'm saying? Like you got to trade Jimmy. He literally is your best offensive weapon.
Maybe at the deadline, Dom.
Any team would be glad to get Deebo. We can tell you that right
now. Mafia, go ahead.
Get Deebo, man. They got to pay that dude.
Go ahead, Mafia.
Yeah, go ahead, Mafia.
My outlook is a little bit different. Me and James talked about this earlier this week. We have two different viewpoints. My viewpoint is I know this is. It's the business side. I mean, I get it, but my thing is,
I don't even know what you're going to say, and I bet I'm with you.
You want Deebo to have another season like he did last year before you pay him.
Yeah. So I went home and I thought about this. So if this is what we get from Deebo Samuel at healthy levels, he can easily be the best every year. He can easily because. He's going to give you 600-700 rushing. On top of that, give you 1,400 to 1,700 receiving.
Right.
And like James just said, this is only the beginning.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If it's healthy, just from me speaking, I can see 3-4 straight first-team All-Pro. I can see it. So the other day I was saying he's not deserving of it, but I put everything on the table. If this is what he's going to do and he's healthy, I can't imagine with another year under his belt. I agree with James. You have to lock him up. Because if he's doing these numbers at age 26, with a year under his belt, more work, more film, and more just everything, imagine what he's going to do next year.
Deebo Samuels do not grow on trees.
No, that's why when we go into giving him that period.
So I agree. I think
when we go into this draft class, and many draft classes for years to come, all these teams are going to be scouting these wide receivers, and they're going to be able to. They're trying to figure out how many ways they can get them the ball because they want to get the next Deebo Samuel.
Yeah,
that's what teams are going to be doing. Every team's going to want the next Deebo Samuel.
Yeah, and I mean, you kind of see, and like I said, you kind of see Atlanta's doing that too with Patterson. They're trying to turn Patterson into a Deebo
that
Samuel.
Swiss Army.
Yeah, that Swiss Army.
I would give Deebo that if I was someone else, but San Francisco for years, for most of my life, they've had a top 10-ish or better offensive line. Like, look at all those running backs that have ran for 1,000 yards or over. Like,
yes,
I'm not, you know what I mean?
They don't have a good running back now.
Denver's O-line.
I disagree, Dom.
1,000-yard back.
Well, you know
I love Deebo. Love him, but I'm not giving him that money.
You're gonna let
I'm not giving him that money on my team.
So here's the thing.
I mean,
I think when we
he
talk
was a
about
first-round pick. If he walks, I get compensatory picks. Or if he gives me the hometown deal, like, okay, so say he's worth what, 20, 25, 20,
Dom,
22,
you gotta let
23,
people.
24?
You gotta let people talk, bro. You gotta let people talk.
Done.
JJ, what were you gonna say?
I was still talking.
Go ahead.
Never mind. Go ahead.
No, go ahead, boy. Go ahead. I'm listening. I was listening.
If he's worth 25, say, on the open market, 25 a year, 22, 23, 24, like if he's not signing in Frisco for 20 mil a year, then if you're not signing for 20 for the hometown deal, bye.
Sorry, but
I see your point.
That's complete BS.
What's the difference?
If Diggs gets 24, why should Deebo get 20?
Because it's
getting
just like
19?
quarterbacks wanting because it's just like quarterbacks wanting 40+ million. Do you want to win or do you want that extra 5 million? 10
He's
million
earned the money. That's not his problem. It's not his
You're
problem.
Right. He has.
It's not his
You want
problem.
money or do you want to win?
But
it's not his problem that Christian Kirk messed the market up. It's not his fault. That's not his problem.
To be honest with you, I mean, it's just priorities. That's all it is. Their priority is to secure their team for not just now, but the future. And his priority is to get as much money as he can. I mean, that's just really where it is.
On the market.
Actually, now that I think about it, yes. Because this is probably Deebo's one big contract.
Whether it is or it isn't.
I get it.
I mean,
John,
guys, the way I look at it, what's the alternative though? You let him walk, and then what? Then you have to.
No, you don't let him walk. Be like, hey,
elevate Brandon Ayuk. I mean, what's the alternative?
No, you don't let him walk. You be like, hey, can you sign for?
Exactly. That's my point.
But can you sign for 20 or 21?
Receiver like Brandon Ayuk. That's the result you're gonna get.
I think.
Don't you ever talk about me?
I think Tyler speaks to a.
But I mean, can you get him to sign for 20 or 21 instead of 25?
Hold on, Dom.
Once you get to 20 million a year, does it matter?
Man, the money, man.
Dom, hold on, because now I'm about to get in this just real quick. I think to Tyler's point, though, I think that's where it often gets lost is that if you really are a good team and you have a foundation, you believe in your foundation, you can let players go that while you would like to have them here, you believe in yourself to know that you can charge and revitalize your team. Deebo Samuel, if I remember correctly, wasn't highly touted. And so if you brought him up from like a second day or a third day person, why would I feel compelled if I say, you know what, I can develop wide receivers.
Exactly.
All right. Can I say something real quick?
Go ahead,
man.
Pay Deebo. And I'm going to say this reason why. You got to an NFC championship game with Jimmy G at quarterback, with Deebo Samuel.
Good point.
Deebo Samuel being the superstar
Jimmy
of the
G
team.
is a spectacular quarterback.
You get anybody, you plug in anybody else other than Jimmy G who threw a terrible pass. You're a terrible pass away from beating the Super Bowl champs.
Thank you.
So we'll pay Deebo Samuel this money. This guy was.
It's not
the point of that offense.
It's not Deebo, and it's not Jimmy G either. It's the O-line and the defense. Jimmy G is replaceable amongst 12 to 15 other quarterbacks. Deebo is sweet, but you could put 15 other dudes in there and have almost the same numbers. Maybe not 15. The rushing numbers.
You're on drugs. Are you on drugs?
Wait. We're saying, hold on. We are saying that Deebo Samuel is more replaceable, Dom, than Jimmy Garoppolo. Is that what you're telling me?
Uh-oh. No.
Okay,
you're on
Jimmy Garoppolo.
No,
Jimmy
roughly
Garoppolo
the same.
Got a good playoff
Deebo's
record.
replaceable by 10 guys. Jimmy G's replaceable by 15.
From a 49ers defense that bails him out every season.
Jimmy G is replaceable by 15 guys. Deebo is replaceable by 10 guys.
Name these 10.
Yeah, I don't see it.
You can't.
I don't see it.
Let me get this straight.
Do you want me to go through the list? I mean,
Deebo Samuel.
8 of them are better. But yeah.
Deebo Samuel put up 1,800 yards from scrimmage last year.
I know about the numbers.
He put up 14 touchdowns.
That's how good that line is for Jimmy G and for anyone to get open.
Most players can't get 1,800 receiving yards in the season, let alone scrimmage yards. So you're going to tell me that the 49ers can just replace that like that? It's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard.
They had almost 1,000-yard rusher in 14 games. That's how good that O-line is. When the O-line's that good, the quarterback has more time to throw. Running backs have bigger holes. Wide receivers have more time to get open.
He's not a running back.
I understand Dom's concept because if you have your trenches together, a quarterback that may not be as good.
Thank you, Joe. Is Jimmy Garoppolo good? No. Nah, he's not good at all. But that O-line has been damn good the whole fucking time he's been there. Look at his win-loss record.
We don't know that Trey Lance is going to make that much of a difference.
He's not going to make any difference, but the O-line's still going to be that good.
The Browns have one of the best O-lines. How come they're not doing what you're talking about?
Baker Mayfield.
The Browns, unfortunately, don't have Kyle Shanahan.
Hit the ball. And that's your boy, right? Oklahoma, Mafi?
Right. Oh, so
hey, James,
Baker
remember last year? We were like, Baker Mayfield's the man. I'm like, no, he's
I'm
not.
lost again.
I think we gotta
run the ball.
Hold on, guys.
Keep going.
I think we gotta wrap this segment up. We got a little bit heated, but we gotta go to our non-sports topic for the end of the show. So there's been a big debate this week about Easter candy, and I want to call out somebody from the Sideline Sports Network. John Shear, you're officially under arrest. I got a few signatures on my change.com petition to arrest you for eating
life in
Peeps
prison
live on Sideline Sports. Are you disgusting? Like, what's your problem? Like, and not only that, he took it a step further. He sent this to
life in prison, no parole.
He sent this to a group chat. A pizza with Peeps on it.
Oh God, gross.
I'm also not responsible if anybody throws up that's watching. So I'm gonna just remove it right now. But worst Easter candy, Peeps
ever,
all the way. In fact, Peeps might be a worst overall candy. Besides,
Good and Plenty is pretty bad. Good and
I
Plenty.
think I would rather eat a Peep than I think I would eat a Peep than a Good and Plenty.
Yeah,
but only like a Good and Plenty sized Peep.
God, they're both terrible. Peeps. My issue with Peeps is it's like stale goo that sits on the shelves, man.
Necco wafers might be worse.
After Easter is over, those Peeps just sit on the shelf for years and years and years.
My brother eats them stale on purpose.
Well, that's gross.
Like he rips the thing open and leaves it there for a week and then eat like a crunchy. It's not even a marshmallow. It's
gross. It's gross, man.
They're nasty. That's so nasty.
I mean, does it turn freeze dried? Like, what does it do when it's stale? But I mean, I remember the segment like at the end of Sideline Sports.
I got sick to my stomach thinking about it.
He was like, he said, I don't care what anyone says. He called out
the candy police.
He was like, "This is elite. This is an elite candy." I was like, "Tyler's coming for your skull."
Oh yeah,
he called out the.
He called out the candy.
I was like, Tyler's not coming with handcuffs. He's coming with barrels.
He called out the candy police. I turned that siren on, man. We were on his ass.
Forget about the candy police. Whoever did this with the Peeps Pizza, I'm calling the.
No, we are not being screw the candy police.
I'm calling for them to get sterilized.
You are.
So
we are not saying that. We are not saying that.
Screw the candy police. I want the candy SWAT team coming to this person's house.
I don't know who you got behind there on the SWAT team. But
those are up there.
Is that the iPhone 4?
We're going to kick the door in.
No, these are 8.
I got a 6. It's okay. I'm with you.
Anyway,
that's Jahan Trap phone.
You can't see it, but those might be worse than the Peeps. It's like the freaking
what is
things with the white stuff on the inside of
Cadbury eggs.
Cadbury eggs?
Yeah, the Cadbury eggs.
No, they're like the jelly bean things with the.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
They're the worst. They're worse.
Oh
than
yeah,
Peeps.
they're terrible.
I'm not.
I'm not really like a candy.
Okay, so
I'm not really like
on
I'm not really
ICE
like
on them. They need to be deported.
I'm not really a candy eater, so like I don't really eat any of that stuff. So I will say Peeps just looks absolutely nasty. As I just honestly say. I had one of my friends that worked at a Peep store, and I didn't know what it was. When I saw it, and I tried to taste it.
So we can all agree. Okay, so then what's the?
When you were a kid, though, but when you were
worst? What's the second worst
Easter candy? What about when you were a kid? Like you never got Easter basket when you were a kid?
No, when I was a kid, I really wasn't a candy person. That's why whenever we go trick or treating or go to Easter and stuff like that, my brother would pretty much have everything. I didn't really like candy. I was always like nachos, Doritos, those type of junk food, not the candy. So I got that guy.
I got you.
What's the second worst Easter?
That's actually
candy,
that's actually a good idea. Easter's basket, but instead of like candy and stuff, like Doritos.
Doritos.
I used to get like a Tupperware
Doritos
bin
Cooler Ranch, Doritos
from the
Cooler
Asian of like a bunch of candy and like Gatorade.
I call it pizza, and all I gotta say is having diabetes never felt better.
Diabetes.
I love Grizz, man. That's my boy.
For real.
Hilarious.
Other than Peeps, it's to answer your question, Dom. Other than Peeps, candy corn. I only use that for car.
Whoa! Hating on candy corn is what we're not finna do.
Candy corn's trash.
I mean, the best ones to me was what JB said on his tweet yesterday. I'm with those Reese eggs. Those are
for sure.
Reese eggs.
So I think that's the best.
Starburst jelly beans. Starburst
bunnies.
That's a good one, John.
Jelly beans are good. Have y'all ever tried that jelly bean thing where it's like some of the jelly beans are nasty?
Like they got like Jelly Belly ones that were like vomit flavored.
Bean Boozled or whatever it is.
Bean Boozled, yeah.
Yeah.
Like I'd rather have the Starburst ones that Jahan
Starburst joints.
Those are fine.
It's like the blue ones, like you got to find out which one's like blue raspberry and one's
actually
like
the popcorn ones are good though. By the way, I've had
those.
Those are actually pretty good. Fact. I like them. I like. You just don't like popcorn.
I was so afraid, and I was like,
"You don't like popcorn, though, right?"
I was like, "Why does this jelly bean taste like popcorn, and why do I like it?"
And I like jelly beans, but two things shouldn't go together.
Shout out to my mom watching this. I know she eats those popcorn jelly beans too, Mom.
They're fire.
I'm gonna call you up.
It's like it doesn't. It shouldn't.
It was a surprise.
They want to know why you didn't tell her.
We didn't either.
I don't know, but
oh man.
I don't know, homegirl. But is this a new photo? Is this a new photo, homegirl?
Yes.
Yeah.
Updated profile picture. Love to see it.
That's her Beyonce photo.
Nice.
For my queen.
For who?
Dom.
That's my queen. Simping for my queen.
Menace, yo. Tyler's a menace.
You heard me. I'll say it again. Say it loud. Say it proud. For my queen.
Dom is a yep.
Facts.
Tyler's a menace.
Facts as
Simp
fuck.
C, that's your name. Simp D.
Kelly Green looks
Thank
nice
you.
though.
Thank you. Listen, all Cowboys fans aren't bad.
What'd you say?
No comment. No comment.
Listen, Megan Maffey and Mark Bell are
Maffey
the only reasons I don't hate Cowboys fans anymore. It's like, oh, some of them ain't so bad. Tell your friends. Maffey, Megan, Mark Bell.
I'll be a Cowboys fan.
Don't
That's
tell
your
the
worst
world.
one?
Though. Don't tell the world I said that because some Cowboys fans, boy,
Most of them, 97%. Like out of 100, you get all of them, then you get Megan and Maffey and Mark Belf. The other 97 suck
Mark
ass.
Belf's not a Cowboys fan. You already said
No,
it.
you're right. He's a Cooper Cup
He's
fan.
just a Cooper fan.
He was only a Cowboys fan because
he's not an NFL fan. He is an NBA fan exclusively.
What do you call it?
Shout out to the Pelicans, though. Like, I really didn't think they were going to make the playoffs, but they did.
Carpetbagger. He went from Washington to Texas to New Orleans.
He's a Rams fan until
Carpetbagger
relieves.
He's a Cooper Cup and Rodney Stuckey and Texas football.
Rodney Stuckey.
And Cowboys, but not really. And Pelicans fan.
And Eastern
Shout out
Washington.
to Mark Belf, though.
So weird.
Shout out Mark
Yes.
Belf.
Big shout out to Mark Belf.
Yeah, shout out Mark.
Yeah. If you're ever in New Orleans and you get in trouble,
Right.
call him. That's
Right.
BALFE, Mark Belf. He needs some work.
Attorney at law.
Allegedly.
I think that's it, yo.
All right, guys. I think that's it. It was a great show. Make sure you guys like the stream. We really appreciate it. And we'll see you guys in the future. We got some good stuff planned for you guys. That being said, anybody else got anything they want to shout out before we hop off of here?
Shout out to you guys
Go
for
ahead,
having me on the show,
John,
man. I had a great fucking time. For real.
Yeah,
Bro, come back. Come back.
just
Anytime
wanna-
you want to come back, right?
I just want to say real quick, happy Easter to everyone that's watching. Everyone that's on the set right now for tomorrow. I hope you enjoy your time with your family.
Awesome.
Appreciate it.
Thank you, sir.
Even though Aaron Rodgers, I'm having the Aaron Rodgers.
JJ, Maffey, Jahan. Love y'all.
Love y'all, man.
John, I know you got a shout out.
2 and 2 is 4.
Hey, man. Always.
Hold on, y'all.
I just want to say thank y'all for letting me on tonight. Had to break out
Appreciate you coming on, bro.
Cobb joint. You know, worst jerseys ever that we own.
Love it. I love it.
Thank you for participating in the Gauntlet's Worst Jersey Week. WJW.
This was a fire episode, but Jahan, you can definitely have this now. I'm retired.
Yeah, man. Nah.
I ain't keeping it, bro. I'm not keeping it.
Oh, Cobb
I am
is
not
worse.
keeping it.
Cobb is worse. We won't argue that, man.
Jahan said I'm the sports moron for hating on Carson Wentz.
Hey, no wins.
All right, guys. Well, we'll see you guys next time. All right.
Appreciate y'all.